Honey is an effective treatment for infected wounds. It's a treatment for burns, ulcers, cuts, scrapes, etc. This stuff has been used for thousands and thousands of years to, treat these problems. And like I said, it is a very, very effective treatment for infected wounds, which is crazy because it's, again, antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-fungal. Like, this stuff is seriously freaking awesome. Hey there, welcome to Becoming Natural with me, Victoria Ray, a certified transformational nutrition coach and expert in the areas of mental wellness and nutrition. This podcast is to provide you with the tools and knowledge that you need so that you can live a healthy life, a natural life, in today's society where everything is just full of chemicals and dyes and a bunch of artificial shit that is absolutely destroying our health. So hopefully by listening to this, you can gain some of that knowledge and become a little bit more natural. See what I did there? That's the first time I've done that. I kind of like it. I think I'll keep doing it. So what is up, you guys? I hope you are having an absolutely amazing week so far. This week has been absolutely crazy for me. I am currently packing because I am moving. I am studying for 2 different exams. And when I say different, I mean different. They could not be more different at all. One is in the medical field and one is in the field of IT. So they're totally different. And my brain is gonna explode. And then I've been working on my personal care product line, which, oh my God, I'm so excited that that is out and that is available for you guys. And, working with clients, it's been a little while, but honestly, I kind of like it that way, it's not boring. It's keeping me on my toes, keeping things interesting, making me do a bunch of different stuff that maybe I wouldn't normally do. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good. I'd say I'm having a good week. So I hope you guys are also having an absolutely good week, a good day, and a good weekend. If you're listening to this on the weekend, good for you. I hope you're having a good weekend. If it's not a weekend, I hope you have a great weekend whenever your weekend comes up. So yeah. But I've got some really, really awesome information to share with you guys today. We are going to be talking about the superfood of all superfoods. The queen superfood, I guess we could say. And no, it's not kale. Kale is good. I like kale. A lot of people hate kale. But no, it's not kale. It's honey. And honey is so freaking amazing. It is so amazing that it literally never expires. There are jars of honey that are 5,500 years old that are still perfectly edible. What? I mean, personally, if somebody handed me a jar of honey and was yeah, this is 5,500 years old and you can eat it. Why don't you eat some? I don't know if I'd do it. I'd really have to be in that situation to tell you if I would eat it or not. I don't know. That seems a little bit ooh, even though it's edible, it's not really old. But that's crazy. And one of the reasons that this is possible, that this stuff never expires, is because honey is actually antibacterial. And it has a really, really low water content, so bacteria can't grow inside of it. It's also antimicrobial, anti-fungal, anti-inflammatory, and it has immunomodulating properties, which means it can boost our immune system. This stuff is so, so cool. So let's talk about how this amazing stuff is made and the cute little fluffy butted bees that make it. I know you guys have probably seen that picture of that little bee who fell asleep in a flower and its little butt is sticking out and its little legs are down and he's just asleep. It is so cute. If you haven't seen it, just Google bee asleep in a flower or bee butt. Like, they're so cute. I love them so much. I used to have some bees. They were the cutest things. Sadly, the queen ended up dying, and then the hive left, and I was really sad, but I loved them. They were precious. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared of them. Like, I would go out there in the morning, and I didn't know this, but bees sleep, like sleep. And I would be up before them, and I'd go out there and I'd go check on them. They'd be asleep in their hive. And then I'd come back a little later and they'd be awake. They'd be flying around, and I'd go out there and be like, ah, and they'd land on me and I'd be like, ah, but they never stung me. They were so sweet. They were so cute. And I just kind of put myself in that situation. One, because I did want to help get over I don't necessarily have a fear of bees because I'm not afraid of them, but when they're landing on you, it kind of, your instincts kick in and you're like, shit, this thing's going to sting me. But no, they were great. They were great. I love bees. But there are over 20,000 different kinds of bees. And only, how many make honey? 8. Only 8. Some people argue that it's 7. Some people argue that it's as many as 11. But the general consensus that I'm getting is that there's 8 different kinds of honeybees, including the Italian honeybee, which is the ones that I had. They were so cute. They were like fluffy, and they had like the fluffy legs. Oh, adorable. Extremely docile. Like I said, they're not aggressive at all. There's the Indian hive bee, the little bee, the black dwarf honeybee, western honeybee. I know there's like a Russian honeybee, Carolina bees, I'm pretty sure. There's a couple more. But these 8 species, little fluff butts, are who we have to thank for all of our honey. And did you know that most of them are female? Now, when I say most, I don't mean like most. I mean like almost freaking all of them. 100 females to every 1 male. That's a lot of female bees. And this is because bees are haplodiploid. They're a haplodiploid insect, which means that the female comes from a fertilized egg and the male comes from an unfertilized egg. So the queen, she's the only one who is mated in the hive, and that's what makes her the queen, because she is giving birth to these female worker bees. So the other female bees who are in the hive, the worker bees, they're not mated, and sometimes they do lay eggs. They do lay, which would be male eggs. But anyways, I digress. Back to the queen. She lays these eggs. She lays fertilized eggs, and then sometimes she lays unfertilized eggs. And this is where things get really, really interesting, because wouldn't it just be easier, logistically speaking, for the queen to not mate or not release the sperm, because once the queen mates, she actually stores the sperm and releases it to fertilize these eggs, which is pretty crazy. But, wouldn't it be easier for her to just lay these male eggs? Well, the queen isn't just in there by herself, laying eggs and doing queen stuff. Like, yeah, right. She's the queen. She's going to have help. And she has these worker bees who are helping her lay these eggs and, helping take care of these little baby bees once they hatch and everything. So these female bees are the ones helping her because, like I said, almost all these bees are female. And they want sisters. They do not want brothers. Why? Interestingly enough, a study by Hamilton W.D., published in 1964, The Genetical Evolution of Social Behavior, published in the Journal of Theoretical Biology, studied this behavior and came to show that the female relation to her sisters is 3/4, while the same relation to her brothers is only 1/4. So she has a higher relation to any sisters, almost 100% identical, 3/4 identical, as opposed to a brother, which is only 1/4 identical. Now, this is due to the fact that the females are coming from the same eggs and the same sperm, while the males are only coming from the eggs. So yes, they still share the same genetic material from the egg, but the females also share the same genetic material from the sperm as well. So I think this is so crazy interesting. And if you want to learn more about this, there is a book called The Selfish Gene, and it's absolutely amazing. And it talks a lot about like haplodiploid insects and this type of altruistic behavior and, why they're more inclined to want females when they share the same amount of genetic material. But it goes back to you look out for yourself mostly. And so then you're going to look out for whatever is most related to you genetically. So like your sibling or your child, you're going to share the most amount of genetic material with them. So you're going to be more altruistically inclined to, want to take care of them. So yes, that's why the females want more females, and that's why we have 100 females to 1 males. But yeah, basically these female bees are like farming the queen for sisters. Like, does that still make her queen, or like a sister making machine for the worker bees? I don't know. I'll let you form your own opinion on that. Pretty interesting. But if you want to talk more about the genetics and evolution of bees, I am all for it. I love it. Just be ready if you ask me, because I am about that. We've got these cute female worker bees who are going out. They're going to collect the nectar. They're going to collect nectar from all these beautiful flowers. They're going to pollinate everything on their way. They're going to come back to the hive, and they're going to start making honey. So they pass this nectar off to the house bees, who are going to like chew on it and get their saliva in it and just kind of pass it to each other's mouths in this little honey chewing chain, which sounds kind of gross. But honestly, it's super cool, because by doing this, they're changing the pH of the nectar and they're adding enzymes to it. Then they're going to go over to the honeycomb. They're just going to do their little bee dance over there, because that's what bees do. Bees do little bee dances. And they're going to spread that nectar out over the top of these honeycomb, and that's going to allow the nectar to dry. And that's going to leave the water content of this to about 17%. So it reduces it from about 70% water content to 17%, which is super cool. So once the honey is in this stage, they're then going to pack it up into the honeycomb cells for storage, and they're going to cap it off with beeswax. They're going to keep it nice and fresh. So each of these bees, honestly, only makes about 1.5 teaspoons of honey in their lifetime. So they like literally spend their entire lives and they're making 1.5 teaspoons per bee. So this stuff is literally like liquid gold. They spent their entire life making it. All right. Now that we know who is making the honey and how they're making the honey, let's talk about the amazing benefits that it has for us, starting with its antibiotic properties. Most of this is thanks to a protein that the bees create called defensin 1 and the hydrogen peroxide content actually in the honey. Honey is an effective treatment for infected wounds. It's a treatment for burns, ulcers, cuts, scrapes, etc. This stuff has been used for thousands and thousands of years to, treat these problems. And like I said, it is a very, very effective treatment for infected wounds, which is crazy because it's, again, antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-fungal. Like, this stuff is seriously freaking awesome. And the honey also helps in the recovery process too, so it'll help speed that up. Now, some of my favorite uses for honey when I'm sick are putting it in a warm tea, especially if I have a sore throat, because it helps coat your throat, it feels really good, it tastes super yummy, and, it's going to make you feel better because, again, antibacterial, antimicrobial, blah, 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 blah. But on top of that, if I have a cough, I'm just going to take a teaspoon of honey because, believe it or not, honey is the most potent cough medicine that there is. So instead of buying an over-the-counter cough medicine that has artificial colorings in it, that has high fructose corn syrup in it, and we know that these things damage your immune system, why the fuck are you putting that in, I'm doing air quotes here with my fingers, in medicine when you're sick and you're trying to get better and you're trying to boost your immune system? Like, that makes me so angry that these companies do that and then they market it as medicine and say, here, take this, feed this to your child who is sick. Oh yeah, all that extra crap that we put in there that's going to damage their immune system. Don't worry about that. It's fine. Yeah, no, I am not about that. You can literally just use honey and it's going to work better. And it has all kinds of good, amazing properties like boosting your immune system and treating your cough. So it's like this little gift, gift from bees. Now, not only can you use honey to help when we're sick with its antimicrobial properties, but it really like boosts our immune system. Like it's gonna give you this little immune system boost. Like here you go. So it's gonna help you recover from your sickness faster. Another study showed that this amazing superfood has the ability to support serotonin activity in the body. So serotonin is our happy hormone, and we definitely want this performing at full capacity in our body. And it was proven that raw honey possesses antidepressant effects and improves the oxidative status of the brain. Other studies have also stated that polyphenols found in honey have neuroprotective and neurotropic effects, which protects your nervous system and can enhance your memory and improve your cognitive functions. The polyphenols that are found in honey were found to have a direct influence on neuroinflammation, and they are able to reduce inflammation in the brain. Honey polyphenols were also found to improve memory deficits and act directly at a molecular level in the brain. It has also been shown to act as a buffer against anxiety and depression. This is amazing. I don't know why this isn't talked about more, because this is something that all of us have access to. It's good for us, and it has these amazing, amazing properties, like acting as a buffer against anxiety and depression, something that so many of us are suffering with right now, especially because, all the lockdowns and the job layoffs and everything, and everybody's so stressed out right now. And we really just need some good things in our lives, some good things that are going to give us a little boost. Well, honey is one of those things. Honey's going to be there for you. Now, the last thing that I'm going to cover here in the amazingness of honey is its ability to act as a natural immunotherapy for us. What? Yes. So if you have seasonal allergies because of where you live, like whenever the plants start blooming in spring, or you've got cottonwood trees, which they don't bother me, but man, some people, they bother, and they've got all that, cotton fluff flying through the air. Ooh, yeah, those'll get you. But if you're one of these people that has these seasonal allergies, you can actually use honey as immunotherapy. You don't have to go and get injections. Now, if you want to go and get injections and do it that way, that is totally your choice. You are totally okay to do that. I know it's done a lot of amazing stuff for a lot of people, and I'm not knocking on it. I'm just saying, if you don't want to do that and you want to use honey instead, you can do that. You can make your own decision, but you can also use honey. Now, again, this only works if you get honey that's local to your area, because the bees are gathering nectar from these plants. They're gathering pollen and everything, and they're getting it into the honey from your local area. So those things that you're allergic to are getting in that pollen that's causing you to have all those allergy symptoms, that is going to be in the local honey. So by consuming this, you're introducing a small amount of this to your body, which is allowing yourself to build up a tolerance, or in other words, immunotherapy. Isn't that the most amazing thing? So, goodbye over-the-counter antihistamines that destroy your serotonin receptors. And yes, actually, they really do that. There have been studies that have shown that long-term use of antihistamines can damage serotonin receptors, leading to depression. So adios and hello, honey, and all your amazingness, because we are on the path of saying goodbye to anxiety and depression, not bringing it in. Yeah, that's not what we want to do here. So, honey has so many amazing qualities, you guys. Like, I love it so much. I'm so passionate about honey, which sounds kind of silly, but when you look at all the amazing, amazing things that it can do, all the amazing things that these little bitty, tiny, tiny creatures like have given us, they've spent their entire lives making this, and it's there for us to use. Now, how can we get more honey into our lives without, going around just like eating spoonfuls of the stuff? If you're totally into that, like, good for you. Do that. Spoonful that honey into your mouth. Yes, you be you. But if you don't want to do that, you can do what I do and put it into your baked goods. So I really like to replace the sugars with honey. I don't always use honey. Sometimes I'll use coconut sugar or monk fruit sugar. But a lot of the time I do use honey, especially if I'm making like a cookie dough, like a raw cookie dough, one that you just bake and then you can eat it, because I don't want to wait to bake it, because sometimes I'm just like, I want to eat something right now. That's usually when I use the honey. But it's so sweet, and it has a really delicate flavor, so it really makes your baked goods even better. And speaking of honey flavor, did you know that not all honey tastes the same? Like, you got clover honey, which is a lot of what you'll see at the store. But depending on what types of flowers the bees are getting the nectar from is going to determine how that honey is going to taste. My favorite honey is lavender honey. It is so freaking good. If you've not tried it and you like lavender, do yourself a favor and go buy lavender honey. Go find it somewhere and try it, because it is so freaking good. I also really like buckwheat honey, but it has a very, very distinct flavor, and it's really, really dark. Like, it's like dark brown. Kind of looks like molasses. The flavor is super interesting, but I really, really like it. So, yeah, try out some different kinds of honey. See what they taste like. Find your favorite. And again, I really like to put honey in my tea. Not just when I'm sick, but every night. I usually make honey tea before I go to bed. Well, not right before I go to bed, because then I would have to wake up and pee in the middle of the night. And I don't want to do that, because I hate waking up having to pee in the middle of the night. Normally like 7, 8 o'clock at night is when I will make honey and make honey. Okay, I don't make honey. I'm not a bee. I'll make tea with honey in it and drink it right about then. It's like my little night ritual, and that way I know I'm putting something good in my body, and I get a little bit of sweetness in my tea. Now, when you're buying honey, you don't want to just like go to Walmart and get that plastic bear bottle of honey. You know what I'm talking about. That one that's like the generic, like, maybe it's like $2. Little plastic. Yeah. And the reason being is because they have processed this shit so much that it is not honey anymore. It's just honey-colored sugar syrup. They've heated it up to a degree that has destroyed anything that is good in that. You're destroying all the pollen, the enzyme, all the good stuff that we talked about previously is not in this honey, because it has been absolutely destroyed. So what you want to do is find high quality, raw, unprocessed honey. And this honey, you do want it to crystallize. Your honey should crystallize. and not remain in a liquid form 20 years from now like some fucking McDonald's Frankenstein French fries that never get mold on them and look exactly the same. Your honey should not be doing that. Your honey should be crystallizing. This is a good thing. It means there's pollen in it. It means that, you've got the real, raw, unprocessed stuff. And when it does start to crystallize, all you have to do is put it in some warm water. Not like take the honey out and put the honey in the warm water. Leave it in the bottle and put the bottle in the warm water. Not that I think you guys are dumb or anything, but I did say that literally. I said take it out and put it in water. So just to be clear, I do mean leaving it in the bottle and putting it in the water. Some people put it in the microwave. I don't like to do that, especially if it does come in a plastic bottle, because then you're getting all those microplastics into your honey. I personally only buy honey that's in glass jars for that reason. And those would be okay to put in the microwave. But again, you don't want to heat it up so much that you're starting to damage it. So I really prefer the warm water method. And I usually get my honey from a local bee farm here in Texas. But if you don't know where a local bee farm is near you, you can go to beeculture.com and that'll help you find some beekeepers near you. Or literally you can just go to Google and just type in local honey farm or honey farm near me. And it's probably going to pull up something like, oh, here's some beekeepers and here's a honey farm and here's where you can buy local honey. And sometimes not your chain grocery stores, but like your small grocery stores around you or like a farmer's market, they'll have local honey that they sell. Again, I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me here and coming to learn about these cute little bees and their butts, because we did talk about their cute butts a little bit. Don't forget to look at that picture. If you forgot already, or if you haven't seen it, go look at the bee asleep in the flower. It is so cute. You will not regret it. I promise. But yeah, so thanks for coming to listen to this and how honey can make us live a little bit better and become a little bit more natural. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to keep doing that. I hope you guys like it too, because I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm here for it. I hope you're here for it. If not, I'm sorry. You're going to have to hear me do it anyways. Now, don't forget to check out my handmade all-natural personal care products that are now available on my website with photos courtesy of my sister and her gorgeous hands holding the products. Seriously, she did a good job. You should go check. If for nothing else, go check it out to see the pictures she took. Yeah, definitely that's why. But since you guys are so amazing, I want to give you 10% off of your order. And not just your first order, like, you can use this as many times as you want. Because I love you guys. And you're absolutely wonderful. So just go to victoriaraycoaching.com/shop and enter the discount code BECOMINGNATURAL, one word, at checkout. Again, that is victoriaraycoaching.com/shop. Discount code is BECOMINGNATURAL, one word, no space between the two. And just enter that. When you press your little checkout button, there should be an option that's going to say discount. You just type that in there. Everything on there is made with only the highest quality products. I'm not going to give you guys any crap. I'm not going to give you any toxic shit. We are better than that here. You don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I'm here to help you, live a little bit better. So these are, like I said, top-notch, high quality. Well, my friends, until next time, go out there and have yourself a great freaking rest of your day.